This is Wild on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast.
Did you guys see this? This is unbelievable. What is that all about, Kinger?
Get in here for the real thing. Like, let's get weird.
Maybe I blacked out trying to figure out what was going on.
Doubt, worry, fear, because that's what we're breaking the mold on here.
Welcome to Wild on 7th, presented by Pilot Games. We're here until it's here.
And welcome back to Wild on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast. I'm Ryan Carter here with John King. As always, today's podcast is brought to you by Pilot Games. Make sure when you're out, John, I know you like to enjoy a libation out on the town from time to time, and
Yeah, occasionally.
it's nice to accompany that with a little entertainment, and Pilot Games does provide that. So when you see those tablets, go ahead and grab one, play, because when you do, your community wins. They've got fun games, too. They got a good Wild one, so get into that. Kinger, looking sharp today. Did you? First of all, let's get into who we have for a guest today. We've got a good one. A friend of the show, Jake Middleton, will join us. Lots of good stuff from him. But we recorded that one before the game on Saturday. I think it was Friday.
A little foreshadowing in there. Jake was desperate for a 5-minute major. He didn't take long to get one in that.
He seemed super insecure about having 4 penalties in minutes, and he wanted a crooked number up there. Well, he went out and made sure he got one.
Hockeyfights.com does say that he's a 70% victor in said fight. And for anybody looking for closure from the previous episode, Faber was a dead draw in his fight. And our buddy Aquaman, 96 to Dumba, 4% to Bogosian on Saturday, which we'll have to talk about as well.
So Dumba had the upper hand there.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think it was like one uppercut that gave him the upper hand.
Yeah, I did like Bogo did a thing. I don't know if you saw it where he kind of like did like a little Elvis karate thing like before. I like that, like a little like I don't know. What do they say when you see a bear? You know, you kind of make yourself big.
Get big.
Yeah, he did that for a second, but there's a lot of jersey tangle. I don't think that was tough. But
did you watch the Dallas game at the arena?
I was there, yeah. I requested tickets because every once in a while you get a feel of this is one we might have to go put our eyes on. They lost. It was weird there. Weird energy in the building. For whatever reason, this fan base is still, and we'll get into this with the fan question, they're still kind of like waiting to see. You know, that's how it felt. Really, the third period was fun. The fights were fun. But it just felt like, I don't know, show me. Show me. Now, by the way, 25 points, second in the Central, second in the West. They are showing you. But there's some sort of hesitation from the fan base. It was not ass over kettle. I've been, doing my libations on West 7th. It felt a little tentative, I thought.
I think there's something about Dallas where it seems like a rivalry, but it doesn't feel like it is. It almost feels like at times, I don't know, like we're Dallas's little brother or something, and it's like a fight that we're never going to win. You know what I mean?
That's why we need to,
And I think it goes back to the playoff series a couple of years ago where Dallas, they just found a way to beat us in multiple facets of the game. If you can recall that playoff series, they killed us in the face-off circle, killed us on the power play. The penalty kill really struggled, and I think that was the difference in that one. And in fact, I think the demons that the penalty kill carries to this day started in that playoff series against Dallas.
Yep.
I think Dallas.
They were ice cold coming in the power play, and then they went red hot against us, right?
Like 50%, if not more.
Yeah. No, there's a little.
Whenever we play Dallas, it feels like there should be like more animosity. I think the players showed it, but I think to your point, in the building, it doesn't have the energy that a Winnipeg game has, so to speak.
Correct. It's a little bit of like a Yankee Twins thing, I think. Like there's something about it that because we haven't had enough success against them, it is a little bit of a different sort of rivalry. But, I actually thought I was really hoping for 1 point, kind of like the Chicago game. We were down 2-0, right? And it didn't feel quite right. You had Zuki out, Eck out, Brodin out. So it's kind of like they're switching the center every shift between Boldy and Kirill. And I just thought, God, if we could just get tied, get to overtime, who knows, maybe we win in overtime. But I thought it would have been a nice stolen point, but we didn't quite get there. Yeah, it wasn't. I left a little unsatisfied.
So how was the experience? So did you set a good base for yourself? Did you swing by maybe Cub Foods? Did you have some vegetables to make sure with some dip, maybe some apples and caramel to make sure that you could have one of those libations without maybe it going directly to your bloodstream?
Well, my deal would be if I was going to go over to Cub, I would check out the wine and spirits, Bush and Bush Light 24 packs, $19.99. I feel like really our current, Felino, Jake, that probably would like Bush Light. Delicious Honeycrisp apples, $1.77 per pound. And if you're feeling a little under the weather, stock up on cough and cold season. Save $5 instantly when you spend $25. We love Cub. They're one of us. They're very involved with Minnesota sports. Thank you, Cub.
All right, I like that.
How about if you do your ad read?
Yeah, I like it. Again, fall is here. It's that time of year where you start to think about the snow and preparation. I think I'm actually feeling pretty good about where I'm at right now. I had the leaves picked up.
Yeah, you had
that.
dirt on your pants.
Yeah, the gutters are all cleaned out, ready to go. Confident in my roof. I got a new one last year from Wild Construction. Their friends there. I was within the area that had the storm. But at any point during this fall, if you're uneasy with your windows or you feel a draft as you walk past it, any exterior needs on your home, Wild Construction, there's still time to get that stuff done, and they'll work throughout the winter on any of those exterior needs from your home. Again, whether that be siding, windows, things like that. They're not going to get on the roof. That'd just be crazy to get on a roof if it's snowy out. But plenty of time to get that other work done. And again, you do have 12 months if you're in an area that had a storm. You've got 12 months to figure out the damage. Wild Construction has all the tools and resources you'll need on their website to see if you're within an area that had a storm, the damage, the date of the storm. You give them a call, they'll come out. They might be able to get on your roof right now, but they might wait till spring. Either way, if you have needs, they'll deliver. They'll make it happen. wildconstruction.com. Boom. So I do think you brought up a good point. I kind of liked it. It stunk that the Wild were without some of their guys, and
really for the first time all year.
Right.
That Montreal game was haunted. It was just Zuki takes the extreme injury below the belt. It was just like, when you're watching a game and you're thinking, oh, man, there's something haunted tonight. Like, we'll be lucky to get out of here without 5 guys getting hurt. You could just feel it in that Montreal game. And we paid the price on Saturday night with, really the first time this season just icing a lineup without 3 of our top guys not in the lineup. And Eck really makes really makes a difference when that guy's not out there.
yeah,
It's
a different club.
It's a totally different club.
It just throws the balance of everything off. But I did like them trying to move Boldy to the middle. I think he could be a great centerman. Interested to see how that would go. They ended up, I think, at the end of the game, kind of putting a natural centerman in there, letting him kind of be on the wing again.
They tried a lot with those 2 guys that game. It was a cakewalk. Every single shift, it seemed like a new person with them.
Yeah, and I don't know that it paid dividends. I'd be curious to talk to Hines to see what he felt and why he switched some of those things up and why he liked or didn't like different aspects of that. But there was some silver linings to the D getting hurt last year. Brock Faber, all the minutes he played, one of them. And there can be some positives that come from guys getting injured. And Hines seems like he's willing to move people around, and he might find something that he didn't know he had moving these players around. But yeah, we'll see in the end. Right now, I don't know why you'd mess with Boldy and Eck if you were healthy. I don't think you'd want to do that at all. Those 2 are great, and then you've got Zuccarello. So there's balance when they're there, but all of a sudden without them, hey, why not? See what you got. And it didn't work out in Saturday's game, but maybe going forward something might pop.
Yeah, now we're rolling in. We're going on the road. St. Louis, Oilers, Flames. It would be. I don't want to have a big blip. It's funny. You made the bold prediction that Kirill would not have 3 games without a point, and now that his Zuki's out for a little bit, I think good hockey teams, they may lose a game, but we want them to bounce back. Have a really good effort against St. Louis, and then you got the Western Canada swing after that. And I think they come home for Winnipeg maybe on Monday. Maybe that's in Winnipeg, but that'll be another one to circle on the calendar for sure.
Right. And the schedule seems like it's getting a little bit tougher. Like you've got Dallas, now you're going to end up going to St. Louis, who's they've struggled. I think they're outside looking in terms of the playoffs right now.
They're pesky though.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous hockey team, I think.
And then you've got Edmonton, Calgary, 2 teams that have been playing good hockey. Now, Edmonton seems to be their MO where they start off terribly. They did it last year, get the coach fired, and then all of a sudden they make the playoffs and a run to the Stanley Cup final. They started off terribly slow again this year, but now they've climbed their way back into being a playoff team. So a little different there. Hey, we've got another little addition to the show. We've got Pep's Original Draft House. They've joined the party. Yeah, buddy. So we're going to do a little fan question segment for them. And Kinger, I think you've got the fan question, but we're going to call this Fresh from the Fans, sponsored by Pep's Original Draft House. So if you've got some questions, submit them on the socials. We'll try to get to them here on the show.
The weirder, the better. You can ask us a question. You can ask a player a question. But, yeah, we'd like some weird ones. This one comes from Rat, the famous bandwagon jumper. Nobody can roll off the bandwagon faster or run after it and jump on than Rat. He says, what do you think is the difference between this year and last year? Basically the same players, but such a huge turnaround. That's from our boy Rat, hanging in the shadows. I believe the group had a chip on their shoulders. I believe they were embarrassed last year. They had a long off season, and I think Hines ran a really, really hard camp. Jake's going to talk about it, and I think that's the difference. This is the first year Coach Hines has had his stamp on it from start to finish, and to me, that's it. And I even think I think the players heard a lot that people had low expectations. They're kind of like, yeah, we know what the Wild do. Maybe you'll squeak into the playoffs, lose in the first round. I've seen the first 20 seasons of this show on Netflix, and, talk to me in March. And I think the players were kind of like, that gave them a little middle finger. I not against the fans, but I think there's a little chip there. They were focused, and it was hard. And that's been a theme that's been carrying through with this group. So I just think it's a complete night and day,
I think it's interesting because it illustrates how challenging it is to win, but at the same time, how simple it is to win. You have the same group one year that struggles, misses the playoffs.
And 100-point seasons twice before that.
Right. And then what was lost? Last year at times we were like, don't really know. And all you could blame it on were injuries and confidence and momentum, things that they didn't have. And now all of a sudden this year things are entirely different, but it's the same group. So what is the difference between winning and losing? It's like something intangible. You can't feel it. You can't see it. You can't grab it. It's like a feeling, like a belief, the right motivation at the right time, and all of a sudden things are entirely different. I do think you're right. There's a lot of little things that have gone into them being able to turn this around and find confidence and get momentum, feel good about their game. Some of those are the details. And when we talk to these players, every time, even Marcus Foligno last week was like, it's just like little details in the game and just kind of being prepared a little bit more. And in some ways, when I interpret that, it's almost like a shot at the previous coaching staff a little bit, but I don't think it is. I think it's more just that was Hines' way to motivate. And I think I've never been in management, John, you are, but there comes a point in time where you can micromanage, and that can be a negative thing. and you just maybe at times have to let them go out and do their thing, let them figure it out on their own. And I think that's probably where Evison was with that group. He came in, he motivated great. That team, 100-point seasons 2 years in a row. Now last year they struggled, and he didn't micromanage them. He let them try to dig themselves out of it, and I don't think they were able to. Now Hines has come in with a fine-tooth comb. He's gone through every facet of their game and found a detail or two that he can sharpen up. And now the guys, he has their attention, and it's been working. So for me, the difference probably is just that they in the summer, Bill Guerin, you have, I think, as management and coach and everybody else, you really have one option in the summer. It's change it. If you didn't like what your group did the year before, you either make a bet to say that your group, same ones coming back for the most part, can do it again the next year, but be better and do it different, or you have to change the people. One or the other. Bill Guerin chose not to change the people. He bet on a bounce back from the people he has in that room. But what did that require? I think that required him to have some strong motivation. I think he understood that. So he had heavy year-end meetings. He challenged them. He said, hey, it's a bounce back year. It's make or break. Let's see what you've got. Like, I bet on you. Prove me right or wrong. Next year's the year. And to a man, it seems that every guy has kind of leveled up and been a little bit better. They took all that stuff to heart. And then choose your hard seems to be the right message for this group. And for me, that's entirely the different. It's not something we're seeing on the ice. They didn't get that much better. They found the right thing mentally to go from being a struggling team to a really good team.
And it's literally a reverse image of last year. So last year, terrible start. This year, good start. Goaltending was a problem last year. Goaltending's been good. Injuries were a disaster last year. We've started the year healthy. People were pulling their hair out about JoJo and Freddie Gaudreau last year. This year, they're both chipping in at a high rate. I mean, isn't it crazy, the margin, like you just said? Nashville's 5-10, okay? That's the same record Dean had at the start of last year. If you would have been a season ticket holder in Nashville, they bring in all these guys, you would have been buying all the extra packages, the bobbleheads, everything else, and they're off to a bad start, right? And so I think we've always said Billy's a poker player, right? And I think he looked and he said, a couple 100-point seasons. I know what these guys are capable of. Let's keep the 3 goalies. It's not going to be as bad as last year from an injury standpoint, and let's run it back. And so far, so good. Let's get to Thanksgiving here, but I've loved the start.
And you're right. Let's hit on the Bosch Law injury report right now.
Oh, I got good stuff for this. I'm excited.
It's been clean, and knock on wood, if we're doing that, plenty of wood around here. The injuries that they've had have been short term. Jared Spurgeon was out just for a little bit. Like, we've talked heavily about how this team's top 4D need to be healthy for them to be good. And the game has changed drastically for the Wild with those guys being hurt. You think about Brodin going out. It didn't look like the same club when they played Montreal. They end up winning 3-0, but it wasn't as decisive. You play a Dallas team that's really good, and you're missing a couple other pieces, and there's a lot that went into that game. But and they still defensively held the fort down. It's just a little bit different, right? They're not playing as fast. It's not as fluid. So those guys, they are important. But right now we've got Zuccarello out for an extended period of time.
Tough one.
Yeah, he busted something.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to him about that. I don't even feel comfortable talking about it. I've had a few texts come to me, kind of joking text, and I'm like, nope, not even gonna laugh. Like, I don't know what that would be like. And yeah, that's not good. I did see Mr. Jonas Brodin and Mr. Eriksson Ek on the ice as I walked into the studio today. That made me very happy. I want to go back to Zuki because this is the Bosch Law injury report. If he's out for a month, that was something that we heard early on. I don't know exactly what it'll be, but I think we get him in a helmet like a high school manager and just have him stand
on the
by
bench.
Kirill. And he's got.
So we know he sits on the end of the.
I'm
end
totally
of the home bench
fine with
behind
that.
the door.
Street
he
clothes.
just stays in that one spot.
Street clothes cage. keep Kirill happy, or I'm totally down with Kirill having a Microsoft Surface or iPad and just FaceTiming Zuki after his shifts. I want to keep that chemistry there. Wouldn't it be great if Zuki was on the bench with a cage, just standing by the coaches, like a young high school manager? Let's have him around. Why does he have to go away for 3 weeks? That's not good for anybody. It's certainly not good for our Russian baby.
I like the image of having a cage on, but why would he need a cage?
I think that's what the rule is. Maybe that's just high school.
It's just little kids. They play the game without a cage. I don't think they need one on the bench.
It seems better, though, if he's wearing the helmet.
Is that like a little joke? Because he's like...
No, it was in my head when I pictured it that way. I've watched way too many state tournaments, as you know. But, yeah, it looks like Eck and Brodin will be back.
Well, they're practicing, which is a good sign. I don't
black jerseys on. They weren't wearing anything that would – and they were going hard. I think they're making the trip.
Yeah, I think they're going on the trip. Just don't know their availability for the first game in St. Louis. And the Wild did call up a couple of guys, Shore and Boyd, 2 forwards. Now they need an extra, but if you read between the lines, one of those guys might be playing. I don't think you need 2 extra forwards. So we'll see there. And then the Wild have the extra D, and I think Hunt with Brodin. So plenty of bodies on the trip for sure.
Yeah, no, and we had, I guess Saturday night was Milne. Is that how you say his name? I thought he looked pretty good. Ogren was out there. It seemed like they were interchanging those 2 guys, so they were alternating them on the 4th line or something because you wouldn't see them all that much. But I wanted to hear your take on maybe Murat's just fun to watch because he's, when you watch youth hockey and all the parents love the little guy whose legs are moving a lot. It's just you find yourself gravitating towards watching that. I've really liked his game. He's just he's fast. He seems high skilled. He also will cut at the dot, get it to the net. Now he's not. It's a little bit like Faber. Faber can get to the net whenever he wants. If Murat and Brock could perfect some sort of Forsberg move right at the net, they'd probably both have 5 more goals. But I have you liked what you've seen from him?
Yeah, that line in general.
Even better than last year, I think. Kind of night and day for Murat.
Experience matters. Him playing a couple of games. Where I think I'd give him a lot of credit is he probably has a desire to generate more offense, but with that comes more risk taking, and that's not in his role right now. I don't think Hines has talked about how great their puck management has been, and they really have not given up too many odd man rushes against at all. They've been good around the Blues. There's been buy-in in that regard. And this line, that's their job. Don't turn the puck over. So as much as Murat would like to maybe generate more offense and make some more plays, because it looks like there might be some more in there, he's playing the role, I think, really well. And you're right. He is noticeable. His speed is noticeable. On the penalty kill, it's noticeable. But it looks like at times there's a leash tugging him back because you'll see it on the kill. You'll see it in different parts of the game. And then you don't always see it 5-on-5. And it's like there might be more there, but he's holding back. And there might be a reason why he's holding back.
Yeah, I'd be curious what he looks like if you put him up. You put him with a little more some of the higher skill guys, just because he seems to have another gear. Maybe that's kind of what you're saying. I did hear a story about him that I just love. He was between periods of a game, and he asked a team person, someone that works with the team, he goes, do you have the NHL app? And the guy was like, yeah. And he goes, what's my face-off percentage? He wanted to know in-game what his face-off percentage was, which I kind of love. Like he's especially we've struggled in the dot, especially when Eck is out for a game, it's even harder. But I don't know. I think there's a lot. I think there's even more there, like you're saying. I don't know. I don't know what happens if he's skating with if he got a shift with a Boldy or a Kirill. Like I don't know. I think some good things could happen there. There could be a lot more there.
And smart kid for realizing it's not his turn yet. Don't blow your turn before it comes up. Don't turn the puck over in the role that you're playing right now because it might cost you an opportunity with the big boys at some point. But, yeah, it looks like they're, a little bit more. And be curious to see when he gets an opportunity to show that for sure.
I was going to ask you, I don't know if you ever did this in your career. You probably did. You probably went back to Jersey, somewhere you'd had some success and you were on the Wild. Dumba comes into the game on Saturday, and he hit somebody. Actually, when I saw the replay, I don't really think he did anything. I think the guy kind of fell into the wall. I think it was
Lauko.
Yeah, actually, when I looked at the highlight, it didn't look cheap to me. But he ends up fighting Bogosian. He's a tough guy. We know that about Matt Dumba. He handles himself well. Spins the hat, arms up, on the way to the bench. Is that a thing you do when you go back into the town you played? Do you almost you got to like cut the head off the old team? Like if when Maroon goes back to Tampa or you went back, is there almost like a little? There's like money on the board or something. There's like is that a thing in the NHL?
I don't know. I kind of feel like it goes one way or the other. You either do more or you do less. Like out of respect for the organization that you came from, you don't do certain things, or you do more. Like, but Dumba always was that way.
Yeah,
he was that way when he played here.
Yeah.
He'd spin the helmet. He'd pump the crowd. He'd fight when he needed to. He'd have an open ice hit. He'd give the let's go. I think he just was being who he was. I don't know that he had a point to be like, I'm going to bring a little bit more. And we should talk about this too. Like, is there a time limit on redemption games? Like, it's been a couple of years now.
Yeah, he was in Arizona.
Yeah, they've played a handful of times.
Yeah, I will say it agitates the fan base more. Like, when you kind of figure out who it was, and then you're like, it's Dumba. You could tell the fans were like, what's he doing? He was one of our guys. What's he running around for? But I think most people that watched him play know that that's how he was. I mean, he was great against Vegas. He got us to the game 6 or 7, whatever it was. He had the Pavelski play last year that got us off to 2 years ago that got us off to the start. So he's a tough dude.
My brain glitched a little bit during that fight because it was Wild 24, and that's what Dumba wore.
Oh, yeah, and he's fighting.
Remember, it was Dumba 55, then it was 24, and 24 was fighting with
3 or 4?
Yeah, but it wasn't Dumba, and then it was like, was a single digit in Dallas? That's like the first time I'd seen that. I was like, that doesn't look right either. So it took me a while to figure out like what was actually going on, and then Dumba was fighting for the Stars. So it was like a really weird moment in my head.
Yeah, it was all like reversed out. It was weird, but yeah, I hope. I think with the health coming back here, hopefully these guys will be in the lineup at least by the time we get out west in Canada. Let's get. And the train has been very much on the tracks. A lot of structure. I'm just hoping it stays that way.
Let's talk about how well the trains have stayed on the tracks. Here's just a few tidbit stats. Right now, the Wild are 11-3-3. That's third in the NHL in winning percentage, .735. That's not third in the Central. That's where I had them finishing. That's third in the NHL.
It's awesome. They've been great, and that's the other thing.
Needed a long, awkward pause. It's third in the NHL right now. That's amazing.
We're a wagon.
Yes. They're tied for fourth with 25 points. The 25 points through the first 17 games this season are the most in franchise history. So of any start in franchise history, this is the best.
That team that just came into town, Dallas Stars, they have 22 points. And they're good, and we're ahead of them.
Kaprizov, wagon.
Awesome.
Off to a great start. 31 points. That's second in the NHL right now.
And he's played less games, I believe.
Right.
I might have that wrong, but I think some of those guys on Colorado, I think, have played more.
Captain Clutch, Matt Boldy, making a case for the Four Nations. Is there any way that he and Faber don't make that team?
That team is announced, I believe, on December 2nd. So
Yeah.
that if they're watching, I don't know why he wouldn't. I mean, this whole 50-50 thing that came out of the clouds with Billy G, I mean, he's making his case for that.
You know how players tend to have their biggest years in contract years?
Yep.
Do you think that these guys care that much about the Four Nations where they might be having a contract year type of year getting ready to play for Four Nations? I think it's possible.
I would love to know the answer to that. I care
Boldy's-
about it a lot.
I think he's like Captain America. I think he cares about the red, white, and blue. And he was going to have a heck of a season to make sure. Because going into this year, he was a bubble guy on Four Nations.
He went to the World Championships last year. He filled.
Billy challenged those guys.
He
said,
followed
if you
Billy's
wanna
lead.
play in 4 nations. I'm not taking the guys that take the World Tournament off and just want to play when it's convenient for them. I want the guys that buy in.
And I think he was the leading scorer.
Led the tournament in points.
So, yeah, I think we had the loss of Johnny Goudreau, another Boston College guy who I know Matt would have played with. So, yeah, I mean, as a hockey fan, international best on best, which we haven't had in some time, haven't had it since Connor and Austin were wearing pink and black jerseys in the World Cup. I mean, it's going to be awesome. And, yeah, I think some of those guys got their,
I think he's having
they got their ears
year.
pinned back for sure.
Yeah. In preparation for 4 nations, motivated by the fact that he was a bubble guy, and maybe he felt different. But, yeah, 5 game-winning goals from Captain Clutch. I mean, that means something. And then in net, maybe the biggest bounce back of anybody, Philip Gustafsson. Leads the NHL with 2.08 goals against and ranks tied for first with a .927 save percentage. I had the bold prediction where Volstead might have the highest save percentage on the team. That still could hold.
If he plays one game against
against a shutout.
Against the Sharks or something.
Right.
Yeah, that's your best bet. He, man, watching that Dallas game live especially, the traffic in front of Gus. So Dallas really packs it in front of the net, and then they go low to high. They shoot a lot of pucks from the D, and Gus couldn't see anything. And you would still hear the sound of it hitting his pad. I mean, that dude is focused and dialed.
He's dialed
right now. I mean, that game could have really been – there were so many plays where someone shot and there was 5 guys in front of them, and I just was waiting for the quiet, awkward noise, Dallas Star with his hands in the air. That could have easily been 4 or 5 goals that night. He had 37 saves or something. I mean, he's been very, very good.
What haunted Gustafsson last year were like stinker games where
which he kind of had this year, right? He just had when what was the one game? Philly, we had all the goals.
Excuses, and they were legitimate excuses, that one.
Yep, and, so.
But he hasn't had the stinker game. So he's, I think, allowed 2 or fewer goals in 10 of his 13 starts this season. 2 or fewer in 10. Your team's going to score 3 goals, most likely. You're 10-3 right there on Philip Gustafsson. He's been really good. He hasn't had the games where he's let a couple squeakers in or momentum-killing goals against. I feel like every goal that's been scored against him has been earned, and they've been good goals. And because that, the Wild have been able to just naturally respond to those goals and kind of take momentum back in games. But his story, I don't think we're talking enough about how good he has been in the bounce back. 2 years ago, when he was second in save percentage behind Linus Ullmark, I think everybody's like, wow, this is cute, but he's being protected a little bit. The starts are against bottom half teams. The numbers are looking good. He's not a true number 1 because he's not playing 3 out of 4 games. Well, he is right now. Yeah. And the numbers are almost identical to that season 2 years ago.
And they just keep throwing him out there.
Well, why wouldn't you? Tremendous bounce back. Like he's proving that that's what he is, and last year was an aberration.
So the other Gus thing that I don't think we've ever talked about on the podcast, but it's worth mentioning because I think people will appreciate it. So he was in that commercial last year, and the script said, howdy was what we wanted him to say to the guys that were getting on the Gus bus, the school bus. Gus didn't know what the word howdy was. Like, he'd never seen it. He'd never heard anybody say it. And he didn't even know how to pronounce it. He'd be like, howdy, boys? And so we were working on it. So now he says it every time he goes on the ice. And the guys just think it's the funniest thing, that's what I think of every time I hear that leg pad through a crowd. I'm just hearing howdy, boys. He just seems so comfortable in the driver's seat of the Gus bus this season. It's just he's an interesting guy, and as a goalie, he really has a big personality too.
I wonder if he's figured out that animal that starts with the letter Z.
The zebra.
That's at letter X. It was letter X he was hung up on.
Oh, that's right. And you figured one out. There was a fish, right?
Somebody knew it. Xander?
Yeah, a Xander fish. Yeah, that is. Yeah, he's a goalie. I mean, that's Brizgalov level that he's in the net counting animals from every letter.
Yeah, I've got an animal that starts with every letter in the alphabet except for X.
He's a guy
Xander.
I'd be scared to have him on the podcast right now because I don't even want to talk to him. Let's just let him do his thing.
We did a Hot Ones with him He's funny too.
I know,
I
but
did like a Hot Ones knockoff with him for a posted up thing,
could he take the heat?
and he took the heat.
He's Swedish too. That's weird.
I know,
Seems like they wouldn't
Scandinavian.
be able to.
Yeah, he loved it. He loved it. He wanted to do it again.
Yeah, he's a
But
true goalie.
That's when I think Bruce was here, and Bruce, or maybe it was Dean. Either way, they were giving me a hard time. Like, you better not. He's been playing well. This was 2 years ago, I think. Don't you dare throw him off with some spicy stuff.
I'd rather
I
have
don't
him
want him
come
sitting
in
at home with a
after a
burning belly.
stinker, you know.
So the last topic that I think has been great for the Wild, and when I think about the penalty kill, which it struggled, you have the same guys that are out there that are dynamite 5-on-5 defensively. So the Wild are second in the NHL with a 2.33 goals against, and some of that's how well the goaltender's playing, but it's just good team defense. Now, why there's such a gap in being second best 5-on-5 defensive team and why you struggle tremendously on the penalty kill doesn't make sense to me. I think I just chalk that one up to those demons that I touched on earlier, where they've just carried them for a couple of years.
The Dallas Demons.
Yeah, and they just need to exercise. And I don't know what it's going to take to exercise these demons. Maybe they need to be hypnotized or something, or
Bucket
maybe
of
they need to
chicken.
go like 30 for 30 and just not have it be like a story that, or get some type of positive, I don't know, outcome from this group. But it's there. The guys are there. Nothing needs to change on the penalty kill. They just got to play like they do 5-on-5. Trust it and go play. The right people are on the ice. They can do it 5-on-5. They can do it 5-on-4.
You think they're holding their sticks a little tight or something?
I think they're trying too hard. I do think they're trying too hard. I see that out there. They're making mistakes. Like they're overplaying things. Like, oh, I got to cover this. They're thinking too much, trying too hard. They just gotta like settle down, play with confidence. Like, again, they're fighting demons. They're thinking too much. That's what happens when you're haunted. You think too much. But if you're ever thinking too much, you ever find yourself getting hungry?
Yeah, so we're hosting Thanksgiving at my house.
They say brain power.
I don't know. Are you hosting Thanksgiving?
No.
We are. Light load, only 8 of us. I'm going to go get some Jimmy's veggie dip. I'm going to get a veggie tray with some fresh veggies, and I'm going to get maybe a dill dip. I think would be kind of fun. You don't want to eat too much before Thanksgiving. First football game's at 11:30. I like the early start. I'm going to roll into the grocery store, look for some veggie dip from Jimmy's, maybe get a couple different flavors, get the tray out, no damage, no guilt, get the metabolism going without knocking out too many calories. These guys are from Stewartville, third generation, Minnesota's own, Jimmy's salad dressings and dip. Don't you be messing with my dressing. Carts, anything you want to pick up at Cub?
I love cookies, and I don't like dainty cookies. So if you don't like dainty cookies, T-Rex cookie is the thing for you. They're baked right here in Minnesota, and they bring you a local flavor that can't be beat. And whether you're at XL Energy Center looking for a nice, huge 7-inch treat or grabbing a frozen dough pack from Cub Foods, you're supporting homegrown goodness when you eat T-Rex cookies. T-Rex cookie, no dainty bites.
I saw you had the dirt on your pants. Are you still out there doing the leaf pickup?
You know what annoys me?
What?
Oak trees.
Why?
Because they hold on to the leaves forever.
Oh, so you got the double rake.
So like you get all the leaves out, and then the wind picks up the next day, and the oaks drop them.
Yeah, that sucks.
Anyways, that's one of the problems with fall. One thing that doesn't annoy me is saving money, bundle up in. You can bundle and save. That's one thing that's going on at Aquarius right now. So if you want to bundle and get the Aquarius Apex 15, your all-in-one high-efficiency heating and cooling system, just imagine this, Kinger, a high-efficiency heating, cooling system, a heat pump, an air purification system, and a best-in-class 15-year parts and labor warranty program, all bundled together, my man. And did I mention you could save up to $8,000 doing that? Don't miss out on this cozy deal, Kinger. You want those guests at your Thanksgiving dinner to be cozy. Schedule your free new system consultation at AquariusHomeservices.com. Aquarius, earning the right to be recommended.
Good job.
I felt good about that one.
Hey, do you know that? You've got your daughters involved with 2 youth hockey teams, and anytime you play anyone, for some reason, I know somebody that knows somebody on that team, and I get more text about.
Are you saying I'm Kevin, like the Kevin Bacon of?
I get so like, and by the way,
6 degrees of separation.
the only time I ever get a text is if you don't win, and somebody's telling me this, and I'm like, okay, well, it's a long season, whatever. And then I'm like, well, what team is this? What are you even talking about? And did you maybe drop one to a co-op this weekend, 1-0?
Yes.
See, whenever I said, what town were they from? And he was like, I think it's a couple towns stuck together. I was like, that's not good. Cars isn't going to be happy about that. What happened? We got a scoring problem?
We do have a scoring problem.
Okay, but it's early.
Their goaltender played well.
Coachable.
The other problem, our girls, we had to talk about this in the locker room after. Third period of that game, the girls look back at me and they're like, I'd say about half of them go, this is just a scrimmage, right?
Oh, my goodness.
And I was like, no, there's referees on the ice. This is a game.
They've already turned the score into Youth Hockey Hub.
They were like, okay, then, wait, so this game counts? I'm like, yeah, it counts.
Jeez.
So they didn't try hard enough.
Every game counts.
It was a 0-0 hockey game till like a minute left, and then we end up giving one up.
It's early in the season, makes them more coachable. It's, it's like the Chiefs lost to the Bills this weekend. Like, you don't want to win them all.
Yeah. I think the hope is that they'll be the Oilers of last year, where
Does the coach get fired?
the coach it might take a coach getting fired for them to turn it around. Maybe that's what they're trying to do.
Well, I hope you're firing an assistant.
Maybe that's what they're trying to do because they don't like to do the things that I ask them to do.
Coach killers. Well,
So
that's
maybe I've burnt them out. But yeah, no, we bounced back. We won. We won a big one. The next 2 days later,
Who'd you play?
Forest Lake.
Nice. That's
district
always a
game.
good rival.
Yeah.
That's a little 35E special.
Yeah.
Forest Lake teams are tough too.
Yeah, 2-1, held the lead late, shut things down. It was good game.
Good.
Yeah, so we're back, baby.
I'm happy. Go Bears. Should we get in our guest here? I mean, this is a guy we could arguably have on the pod every single week. He could be a co-host. I think everybody loves himself some Jake Middleton. Hey, this interview is sponsored by Duke Cannon. We actually have this guy's a Duke Cannon friendly, Mr. Jake Middleton, on a heater, Jake Midstrom. If you haven't done Duke Cannon, you can get it over at Target, hardware stores. And this time of year, I'm trying to figure out my Christmas shopping carts. The wife doesn't listen to the podcast, so she wants a scented Kardashian hotel smell for our house and some AirPods. But also, if you're gift giving, Duke Cannon gift packs are outstanding. You can get a Buffalo Trace pack. We gave one of those to Felino the other day. Get your hair right. Get your beard right. Get your mustache right. Look like Jake. Duke Cannon. Work harder. Smell better. Welcome back. Best start in franchise history. 369 points plus 15. How are you, Papa Jake Middleton? Congrats on the baby.
I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me again.
Hey, I'm just going to start. I remember when we named our kids, I took great pride in finding interesting names, but I wasn't cool enough to like name my kid Jagger or something like that. But like Stevie on a girl, absolute 10 out of 10. Outstanding name. Maybe Stevie Nicks inspired. I don't know. I want to hear. How did you get the name, and is it settling in? Does it feel right?
It feels right, yeah. So my dad's name is Steve.
Yep.
And my wife, Nat, she just kind of liked the name Stevie for a girl from the start.
So cool.
And that was the only name we had picked, and we didn't know going in. We kept it a surprise what we were having.
So boy or girl, it was
boy or
gonna
a
be
girl.
Stevie?
It wasn't going to be Stevie for a boy.
Steve though.
There was like, no. We didn't have one.
Nehemiah.
That's funny you say that. I did while we were at the hospital, I was doing like a search for boy names, like a random generator. Names like that were popping up everywhere. But yeah, no, we didn't have a boy's name. We knew Stevie was going to be a girl. Didn't have a boy's name. There was honestly 8 to 10 on the list. So we think it would have been a nameless boy for a couple days at least.
The other thing that
Had a boy.
the other thing that can happen is when the kid comes out, there's something where you just look at them and they don't look like the name. It's weird. Like we thought our son was going to be named Francis, but he came out, he's just kind of huge and thick and didn't look like, he looked more like a Bennett, so we went with Bennett. But I think naming a girl a kind of dual name, like a girl named Ryan or a girl named Charlie, Stevie, like I think that's so cool. And I've never heard the baby named Stevie on a girl. I think that's great. Are you a Stevie Nicks fan? mean, she's a legend.
Not like a diehard by any means, but yeah.
That's like Dolly Parton cool.
Have
like,
you seen that show, Daisy Jones and the Six?
Loved it.
Oh my
Loved
God!
it. How about that last episode? Whoops,
I was
no
crying
spoilers.
alone by myself.
Yeah, no, that's
11
a
o'clock at night in my
ugly
bed, just
cry.
crying. Yeah,
Ugly cry. Because
Yeah.
I don't want. You should watch it if you haven't watched it. But how is being a dad? Like,
Yeah,
do
what-
you have dad strength now, or what's going on?
I don't know. Not much has changed. I haven't forgot I'm a father yet, so that's like nice. I haven't left the house forgetting that I have a child.
Do you have a car seat in the back now?
I do, yeah.
Does it like alert you that there's a child in the back when the car stops now? So the cars nowadays will like tell you, hey, there's a kid in the back of your car.
I have an old. My truck's from 2016. I don't have a new vehicle. Would it still do that?
I think so.
I haven't noticed it. I've
You
only
should
driven
try it.
once. I drove.
Leave
the
her
only
in there.
time- I don't know if I would do that.
That's frowned upon. So, hey, tell us about it leading up to it because your wife was due and you guys are in the middle of a 2-week road trip.
Yeah. So the original due date was November 3rd, and then I'll botch this because I'm not a medical guy, but I think she was dilated like 3 weeks before her due date. So then the doc was like, I'd be prepared for October 20th, 25th, like in that time. So then I'm like, okay, we were on a 17-day road trip or whatever it was, and I have a little tiny bag because I'm expecting to hop on a commercial flight and get home, go through TSA, all the fun. Nothing happened. She made it through, and then we ended up getting induced on the 2nd. She was a trooper. She knew I didn't want to miss any time playing or anything like that, so we got induced on our day off on the 2nd, and that evening had little Stevie.
How about that first drive home from the hospital?
Yeah,
That
heart rate was pretty high.
it is.
What do I do? I can't believe they let me walk out with this thing.
Every other car is out to get you.
Yeah.
I mean, I just remember.
Is it the safest you've ever driven?
Probably, like in recent memory, yeah, safest of it.
It's the first time you haven't sped in your life. You're like,
Yeah.
wow, these people are really aggressive grabbers.
So I got 2 dad tips for you, because I had kids when I was like a kid. You got to get a front pack, specifically a Baby Bjorn. That's the brand, and you get the kid facing out
Okay.
on you. You wear it when you're walking around. You have the kid on you. It's so great, amazing. If you don't have
Is it
one,
a
already.
wrap?
It goes over your shoulders.
It's like a backpack, but for
Reverse backpack, and the baby is looking out,
Okay.
which makes them super happy because they're just seeing all this stuff. And you can like do normal stuff in the house with the kid strapped on there. And
I probably got to wait a bit for that, right? Because her neck is still just
It's not
like,
that long.
yeah.
Not that long. But there's a bunch of brands. You need the Baby Bjorn,
Baby
which
Bjorn.
is some Euro old one, and then the Monkey Hold. Do you know about the Monkey Hold?
I don't know shit.
Okay,
right
I'm gonna
now.
give you. This is all I got. I wasn't like my wife did most of the stuff, but Monkey Hold is a arm like this, baby's head here, torso on your forearm,
Okay.
and so if they're ever like fussy with gas, do the Monkey Hold. You can even say to your wife like, oh, I think she might have gas. I'm gonna try the Monkey Hold.
Okay.
And your wife's gonna be like, what's the Monkey Hold? Be like, you don't know the Monkey Hold? Yeah, I'm telling you, head here, torso, so the legs are kind of split.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Noted.
You're welcome. You gave me a great Billy Sushi order, and I'm paying you back. I'm paying you back.
What was the intro like? You peel the tarp off, go skin on skin, because there's something there too, right? Like the first time
Yeah.
you hold her.
I
And I
think-
know you're a big tarp off kind of guy.
I did. We did skin on skin. I had to wait an hour, I think it was. Again, they're kind of. I don't want. They were the nursing staff and all the staff at the hospital were tremendous, but they don't care about you at all.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get
Like
off.
dad, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. Me.
They don't care about
yeah,
dad.
It's all mom and baby,
Yeah.
which is great, and they were sweethearts. But they're go sit down here. Don't be a hero. This and that. I'm sitting there like, can I hold her yet? They're like, no, you got to wait. It's still mom's turn. I'm like, okay. I had to have them pick up the baby. I haven't held a baby in 9 years since my niece was born. 8 years since my niece was born was the last time I held a baby. So
You're a natural, though. I don't picture you being a nervous guy to hold a baby.
I was more nervous to pick her up at the start.
Yeah.
Whatever, they put her on the weigh table, and then they're like, "Okay, pick her up." I'm like, "How about you pick her up and hand her to me?" And
So
then,
you had to wait an hour for that?
I think it was an hour, yeah, something like that, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
she went right on mom's chest right away and did all that fun stuff, and
Then you peeled the tarp off, and it
Yeah.
was your turn.
yeah,
I like that. So I have a story. What did Stevie weigh?
6 pounds, 14 ounces, 19 and a half inches long.
So
She's
my
a little girl.
I had my third daughter was the largest, and she ended up being like 9'14".
Yikes.
But it was the same scenario where it took him like an hour to weigh her. She's on the weighing table, but she had a diaper on, and she had soiled the diaper. And I was like, no, I want a 10-pounder. Weigh that diaper.
like
Give me
that.
2 ounces of urine or whatever that was.
That's
'cause
a good
I need
call.
a 10-pounder.
That's like
what
putting the-
took you so long to weigh her?
Putting the pennies in the mouth of the fish. Yeah, that's good.
Give me a 10-pounder.
She has a full mustache, I assume.
Not yet. Full head of hair though.
Black?
Black
Is
hair.
there anything on the lip? Like you're gonna have to laser?
I hope not.
I mean, just
Did your wife have acid reflux during pregnancy?
Yeah, she did.
That's the hair thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Again,
I don't
I
either,
know
but
nothing.
I heard something like that once upon a time.
Checks out.
Yeah. So do us a favor when you get home. Just try to like lift up the refrigerator or something, and then let us know if it's
Okay.
easy. Because I feel like it is.
Maybe.
Like you're just gonna be able to carry anything you want upstairs. It's gonna
Yeah.
be no problem now.
I'll try it out. Did it work for you? Like, was it instant?
It's
Like,
instant.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know.
Well, hey man, 9 points plus 15. I think it's pretty clear you got some dad
Yeah,
strength.
well, thanks, Kirill. But it's maybe a little bit of dad strength.
It's good. What about 97? What the hell's going on? The guy, he just decided to be the best player in the NHL. Has it been fun to kind of watch this ox running around out there?
Yeah, he's just, I don't know, you can't speak highly enough of Kirill. He's just a force to be reckoned with out there, and especially now, he's feeling it, and when he's hot, so we'll run with it.
You guys do a lot of stuff in practice where you're going against them?
Yeah.
Like, is it hard in practice?
Yeah. Yeah.
In what way?
He's just so good. I don't know. He's quick. He's strong. He can shoot a puck from anywhere. Works hard. He's annoying. He checks every box. He's just.
He almost seems
Superstar.
precise to where he could probably put the puck through the tuque of your skate if he wanted to, if that was like
Probably.
the only path,
Like,
you
did
know?
you see the offside call they had last game?
Yeah,
last
where he
night?
was handling it himself.
He picked it up on his backhand, a 70-mile-an-hour pass up the ice. He picks it up one-handed on his backhand, and he skates it in, and they call it offside. That shouldn't be offside. That's the most skilled play of the game, probably.
They didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, no, he just does stuff like that on a whim. He can do anything.
He also, that goal he almost scored between the legs. I don't even really know what he did.
The
but,
passes he's making,
yeah.
too. Like, he's
Those
just,
spinorama passes,
Yeah.
like right on the tape to somebody
Yeah.
back door.
yeah, very, very impressive.
I'd be terrified to play with him. I would just be bouncing everything off my stick.
So we're practicing before the game yesterday, and the end of practice, Zuki and Kirill take my stick and spend 10 minutes just berating me.
Trying to figure out the tape job
Or just
The
like
height of it.
playing like I play, like they're flipping the puck and rimming it low and panicking on the offensive blue line. And
Complaining about their skates.
yeah,
You got to talk about this, though, because the nickname right now is Jake Midstrom.
Midstrom.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty sweet name.
That
You know
is
what?
nice.
I got,
Nicky Lidstrom.
I'm getting nifty now too from Rick Middleton.
Ooh, I
That
like
one, yeah,
nifty.
the Russians are liking that one too. So
I like that. Nifty. That's not bad.
But
Billy hates it.
Why?
He was
Because of
such
the
a
old
Rick
guy?
Middleton fan.
Oh, so it's like
He
he's...
hates that I got a nifty rolling off the tongue a little bit.
but he used a similar curve, I think, like a similar style stick. He was a heel curve guy. You're a heel curve guy, right?
I don't know. Is it a heel curve?
Yours?
Yeah, it's not a toe curve.
It's not a toe.
No, it's pretty straight.
Yeah.
And it's the boat paddle, like I do the thick blade.
Yeah, roll the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And then the tape job is great, too. Just the heel?
Just the heel, yeah.
So the bit was when Zuki and Kirill have your stick, they just automatically turn into Jake Middleton?
Yeah, yeah. They just basically put the blinders on is what they were getting at.
Are you?
That's
how's
helpful.
the hand-eye coordination? Can you knock a puck out of midair? The playing against Nick Lidstrom, the one thing that I remember is you could not dump a puck past that guy.
Yeah, just bats him out of the air.
Out of the air every time. Out of the air, down, up. Then it's up to Datsuk or something. Then it's in the back of your net. You're like, come on, man.
I don't know. I probably could. I think I got good hand-eye. Definitely not Lidstrom-esque, but I think if time is right, I could get it done.
All right, so next game, hold the blue line. Someone's gonna try to chip it past you. Just knock that thing down,
Yeah.
and then I'll be like, hey, that's Jake Midstrom.
I get a few once, and I got one on my backhand a couple games ago. That felt nice, but it ended up going right back to the middle, shot on net. So that was tough, but it was there.
Plus 15 right now. Do you like that stat? Plus minus?
I don't know, man. Like, if you're minus, people like hate you, and if you're plus, they're just like, yeah, well, it didn't do anything on the goal. So I don't know. It's fine. It's like a feather in your cap, but I don't know how much it necessarily means.
The balance isn't there though. Like you don't feel as good about yourself being a plus player.
Yeah.
But
if you're like last
you
year, I
feel
was
terrible
minus 15,
about yourself.
and I'm like, I'm the worst player in the world, and now I'm plus 15, and I'm just like, well, Kirill and Zuki passed it 6 times and scored, and I just played decoy up on the blue line. So, yeah, it doesn't feel the same.
You're not just playing decoy, man. You got 9 points right now.
Yeah, off second assist off Kirill and Zuki.
3 goals, 3 goals. You had a great quote last year. I didn't even know you said this, so you must have had 7 goals or something early. And I think Gorgie was interviewing you and was like
32 games.
Yeah, and he was like, so you're pacing for 21 goals, and you go, I just want to get the 8th one, and I don't know if you did. It was
I
like
didn't.
perfect.
I didn't.
That's perfect, Middleton. I'm just working on 8, and then just no more. That's it. So good. Hey, the pairs this year. I know we got Brodin got hurt, but you had. We really had some continuity for once, right? Where we had Brodin with Spurge, you're with Fabes. What's it like does it matter a lot to play with the same guy over and over again? And what do you like playing with Brock? And just talk about that, pairs.
I've been fortunate here. Like I played with Spurge and then I played with Brock. Those are 2 guys I can pass the puck to them and know they're going to make a unbelievable decision with it. It is nice having a partner for an extended amount of time. Just you pick up on little nuances and tendencies that they're going to do, kind of know what play they're thinking to make and giving them an option. But again, all the guys on our D squad, you can all kind of fit in seamlessly together. Like you saw with Chiz last night playing with Spurge. They were tremendous. Johnny and Bogo, they got good chemistry. You can kind of plug and play has kind of been our mantra, right? Saw it with the forwards yesterday too, and the D-core is no different.
So what's the difference in playing with Spurgeon versus Faber? You notice anything?
Oh gosh, no. They're both just unbelievable. They're so simple.
I think they're both great defensively.
Yeah,
but they defend a little differently. Like I think Faber he can like end plays, like hit guys. Like he's actually he looks strong as an ox out there.
He is. He's like a running back. Like he's huge. He's thick. He's quick. Maybe that's the difference. Fabes will skate himself out of trouble, whereas Spurge is going to find you wherever you are. He'll be able to make that pass out of trouble.
He'll sauce himself.
Yeah,
out of trouble.
he'll figure it out and make a play, a really nice play out of trouble. Whereas Fabes can do it himself and skate out of it. So maybe that's the biggest difference playing with those 2.
What do you think about Faber having the fighting major? And I don't know if you or Foligno have one. We had Foligno on a couple days ago.
We both have 4 penalty minutes.
I know, and which is
That's
fine.
what he said. He goes, I was on the plane, and Jake looks at me and goes, hey, how many penalty minutes do you have?
Yeah.
4.
Yeah. Like 4. I don't know what to do. 4 penalty
Keep
minutes.
scoring, plus 15.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, Dallas is coming to town. I think you'll be all right. What did Faber say about it when he came to the bench after the fight? I don't know if Brock's been in a fight at different levels.
I don't think he has.
So was he like? I mean, he handled himself well. Did you talk to him about it?
He did. He's really nice uppercut on that one. No, he handled it well. He didn't really have a choice, right? The guy came off the bench and grabbed him right away, and he stepped up to it. And he stared down the barrel and threw punches. Like he looked like he knew what he was doing. I did ask him first fight. I said, "How many times do you think you're going to watch that, like on the bus after the game and hockeyfights.com? How many times are you going to check to see if you got the win?"
Yeah, did he?
But he didn't say. He said probably a couple, but I think he was.
Hey, check that, Huss. Let's see if he's got the win. My favorite was the whole culture of. So he starts to fight, but he doesn't know it's Crosby, and Crosby just looks back and laughs. And that other dude was there. It was like he rose up like Taylor Swift on the stage. He was just there all of a sudden, like, "Oh, you want to fight?"
Were you guys upset about that?
No.
Because you could have said that that's an instigator saying I haven't came right.
Like
from the
I
bench.
said, I told the guy whoever did it, I was like, "You're gonna get it now."
Yeah.
Like just heat of the moment thing, because our whole bench was screaming. He came off and jumped
Right.
him, and me and Zuki were defending like a 4-on-2 at the other end of the ice, so we kind of missed all of it. But yeah,
Is that the play when Zuki went long body
Yeah,
and deep down
yeah,
there? I saw a
yeah.
highlight of that,
Thank
and I was
God,
like, I don't remember him doing that.
I was like laying on my belly from Malkin up at the top of the circle, so Zuki saved the day on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Faves did great. He's a fighter.
He's a fighter now.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the thick trunk like Crosby too. When he fights, he usually wins because they're just so strong on
Hey,
their skates.
give us a Movember update. So this is what 2 weeks worth of growth.
Yeah, 2 weeks. I trimmed it up today.
How do you feel? You feel like yourself again, or
You feel like protected.
Yeah, it's
from
like
the elements.
It's a front. I think we spoke about that before. That the mustache is a front, and I feel normal again now. I feel like myself. But I was kind of hot after I shaved after the Halloween party. That's where I had my little point streak. So we'll see how it
So what was the
goes,
Halloween
yeah.
costume that required it to be?
I was Gru.
Oh, Gru.
Because my wife was super pregnant, so she was Vector with the little paunch, and I was Gru. And she made, like, she hired someone to come and do my hair, like bald cap, nose. I'll never do that again. It was an hour and a half. I'm sitting in my kitchen.
So you're like
with
an
this
actor.
lady painting my face, yeah. And then my hair, like I'm trying to grow my hair.
It looks good, by the way.
You like it?
Strong.
I'm having a tough go with it.
What do you not like about it?
It's just there's a lot going on. Like I can't wake up in the morning and just roll out of bed.
You're in the in between.
You have to shower almost.
Yeah, it's like annoying, and then you're always like fluffing it back and pulling it out of your eyes. And
The other thing is, don't wash it every day and no conditioner.
I'm not. Well, I'll say it now. I haven't washed my hair since 2 training camps ago.
At all?
At all.
Soap only?
No, nothing in my hair.
That's amazing.
I use a scrubber.
You could have dreadlocks.
Why?
I don't know. I think that's how you get dreadlocks. You don't wash your hair.
But he rinses
Did
it.
we fact check that?
Us is still checking the fight.
So you're saying you just don't use product?
I don't use any
Like
product.
you
in my hair.
rinse it. You're like,
Yeah. Like I rinse it and I really scrub it and everything. I had a hairdresser tell me when I was in San Jose, she's like, you shouldn't wash your hair. And I was like, really? So I did some digging on the internet, and it said like after 3 weeks that, you know how your hair gets really greasy if you don't wash it for a while? She said after 3 weeks that oils go away and it's just like all natural after that, and it's supposed to be really healthy. So I've been doing it. I haven't put anything in my hair.
I might do that too. That's pretty cool.
It's either cool or gross. I don't know. My hair never smells bad. My wife like can't believe it. She's like, that's disgusting. You don't wash your hair. So I'll have her smell it, and she's like, it doesn't stink, doesn't do anything. And it's like, it gets a little shiny if I don't do my scrub. And I got this thing where I scrub it, silicone thing or something.
is that the weirdest thing in your overnight bag?
I don't bring it with me. I don't travel with it.
Do you shower in the locker room with it?
No.
Okay.
Just when I'm at home, I'll do that.
So I've played with guys like that before.
That don't wash their hair.
Or use soap. Period.
Oh no, I use soap. That'd be
Do
weird.
Canon soap.
Yeah, do can. Can I get one of these?
So Scott
Buffalo
Yeah,
Niedermeyer,
we'll
Trace
give you a
things?
full
Nice.
kit.
Scott Niedermeyer was that way, like natural oils into that, but this guy was amazing too. He'd play 30 minutes, and all you'd have is the sweat on his chest, like where Iron Man has his light.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only sweat, and it's the size of a hockey puck. He played 30 minutes, and then he'd play the final 5 minutes straight of overtime. He'd come off the ice, he'd be totally fine.
He
Just
was
the
so
tiniest-
good.
the
So
tiniest
good.
little
One of
sweat
the
mark.
I bet McConaughey doesn't wash his hair, right? I think you're in like a transcendent club. I think this is.
You think so?
Yeah, I think I would walk towards the light.
But if you
were
can,
you.
if you can survive the frustrations of a mustache, you're gonna be able to handle long hair, no problem.
It's been a year though. Like it's been a year of trying to do this,
of growing it.
of growing it. Like it doesn't grow as quick as my mustache, so
Maybe soap makes hair grow faster.
maybe like horse shampoo or whatever. Wasn't
Fact
that a
check
thing?
it. We're a fact.
what was it? Deer antler spray? Maybe that's what you need. One observation: no mustache. So when you do a tarps off interview, and I know I'm not alone in this. I hope some fans back me up on this. You did a tarps off interview like pretty much clean shaven. I felt like you were nude, like naked. Like I was watching TV and I was like,
Mole rat.
is this okay? Like, but because when you have
Like,
the
look
stash,
away?
When you have the stash, it's almost like a shirt for some reason. I don't know why. Like,
Yeah.
it's like seeing if you saw like a guy with a handlebar mustache with his shirt off walking around in Florida, you'd be like, it just looks normal. But if you see a normal guy clean shaven with the shirt off, you think like something bad happened.
Yeah.
It made me uncomfortable.
It's a little, yeah. I don't feel, I don't have like a big upper lip. Like it's not really, like it's just like a skinny little line. My wife's friend was in town actually.
It balances you out.
The afternoon I shaved, she was in town, and my wife, obviously, I think she has to think I look handsome when I shave. But her friend just looks at me and goes, you could use something on your face. So that was a bit of that knocked me off my pedestal a little bit.
And that's
Like by upper lip, do you mean like the
Like it's skinny.
like the white part or the red part?
the
of your
lip,
part.
the red part.
The red part of the
Like
lip.
it's really skinny.
That's one of those comments that sticks with you. Like you could.
Yeah.
I remember one guy at work told me, I said he was ripping on somebody like and saying these really obscure things. And I said, well, what would you say about me? And he goes, right off the top of his head, he goes, I wish you walked forward with more velocity. You kind of lumber from side to side. So that's just something I think about for the rest of my life whenever I walk. Those are the comments.
Yeah.
You could use something.
Yeah, you could use something.
You're just hearing that echoing in your head as your counting sheet.
Do you think that if the puck hit you in the face like it hit Kirill, that the puck would have split in half instead of your lip?
I don't think so. No.
Kirill with a scar, that's a positive,
It's
right?
a good look.
You should talk him into a mustache now, though.
Well, it wouldn't grow in fully, right?
Right.
Because of the scar up there.
Even better.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Is his scar looking good?
A notch in his eyebrow?
Yeah, and then you need the neck one too. But does it scar coming in nice on Kirill? Is it adding something?
It's still scabbing right now, but I think it's gonna look nice.
We talked about this on the podcast. Where's the ideal hockey scar? On the face. Like if you're like, I want to look good with a substantial scar, where?
A dent, like a real dent. Where would you want to put it?
Around the lips, probably. I'd say.
I
What did
think
you guys say?
I was chin, like down
Yeah,
here.
I think I got one
You
down
got
here,
a little one there.
somewhere.
I voted the Kirill one, the sort of the between the nose and the lip. It's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
When you
Or
get
like
up by
right
the
down
eyes,
here.
By the eye. That's scary though.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
that
what we
means,
said.
like-
Anything above the visor is a little scary.
Shit happened. Like,
yeah, I don't want to know about that. It's good. Hey, can you talk about Coach Hines? Like Carter and I noticed because we walked by Tria to the studio whenever we record. Camp felt really different. It didn't feel like joyless or anything, but it felt really like focused and serious. Like, what do you think some of the recipe has been to getting you guys off to the best, 11-2-3, best in franchise history? This is the first time you ran a camp from the start. What do you think got you out of the gate so quick?
It was just extremely competitive. The first 3 days, we went over our systems and our tech packs, obviously, but it was more about competing and working hard. I don't know if you guys saw it. I was dying. Like, after the first day, that was the hardest skate I think I've ever done in a training camp.
But it wasn't a straight bag skate.
No,
It wasn't like
it was
on the line. Let's
like
go.
a bag skate would have been easier. We
Yeah.
were just the drills. We were competing, and it was battles, and it was 2-on-2s and 1-on-1s, and just an hour and 15 minutes of battle drills. And it was, but it was good. It set the tone early, and then once you get into it's an extremely detail-oriented coaching staff. There's no gray area, not much, if any, and it's just one of those things. They harped on it from day one, and it's been working.
Did it train you mentally a little bit? I watched one of the practices, and there was like a drill like that, like a 2-on-1 back checker kind of drill. That's a hidden bag skate with some compete, like a second puck or something. And he was going out of one side, and he probably went out of one side for 12 minutes. And I thought the entire drill was over. I'm like, look at these guys, like they almost can't skate anymore. Like,
Yeah, and
he's got to blow it. It's almost got to be over. And then he blows a whistle, switch sides.
Yeah,
And you're only halfway done. And you have to be like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
I'm only halfway through this drill?
Yeah, that was one of the things he touched on. He's like, it's going to be hard, and we're going to, like, second pucks. Training camp was huge on second pucks. Normally you go in, you do the drill, shot on net, goalie covers it, whistle, next group goes. This one, there's 6 or 7 second pucks coming in. And it was one of those things where he said, we're going to be in situations in 2-3 weeks in the regular season where we're not going to get a whistle and you're not going to get the change. And he just harped on that. And, yeah, the tone was set early, and it's been I think you can see it. It's working for us.
Hey, can we throw something out there?
Yeah.
Did you ever throw up in training camp?
No.
No.
Why?
No,
You're such an ass.
Is he
This is
lying
on
to
me.
you?
This is on me. I think I threw him under the bus in a broadcast because he had like a 2.5 minute
Pittsburgh,
with 7-second pucks coming. It wasn't his fault at all, but I felt for him because
That's what we trained for in
yes,
training
that's what
camp.
you trained
That
for.
prepared me.
Right, that's what I was asking. Maybe you throw up. I was wrong. I had the wrong read. I
That
didn't read.
one-on-one, 2-on-2 drill you were talking
Yeah.
about that we did, day one, I almost threw up. But I got like the blurred vision and all spacey, but I kept it down.
So I would have puked. What happens to me in those situations is my legs get so heavy that I can almost not move them anymore, but then I can't sit still either. and then it's just like, uh-oh, here we go.
Did you puke in training camp?
Never in training camp, and if I did, I would have probably ate
When
it.
did you puke?
On the,
I would have probably ate it.
yeah, because you can't let anybody know that you're feeling that bad.
I just
I
wanted
would have puked in my mouth and swallowed it. Been like, no, I was good. I'm totally good.
I'm in shape.
I'm fine. We're fine.
So if you see one of those fanatics, Army Green.
So
go
I
ahead.
didn't mean to throw you under the bus. I don't know who's.
I did not puke. That
Okay, good.
Pittsburgh
But
game.
I apologize if.
No, I thought it was good broadcasting. That was funny.
Sometimes I try. Yeah, you got to be a little funny. Maybe I crossed line. Didn't mean to throw you under the bus, but I'm glad you didn't throw up.
Thank you.
And go back and watch a highlight. You actually saved a goal right before you went back to the bench.
It hit the post.
It hit the
but
post, and you were right there.
I was helping a little bit.
That official correction was sponsored by FanDuel. So we got it. You're completely clear of your past sin. It seems like you've been absolved. If you see an Army Green Fanatics practice jersey from training camp, do you think you'd have PTSD?
Maybe, yeah.
I
And then training camp too. I don't know if you guys noticed. Fanatics, the black and the green, eerily similar.
Yeah.
So we're doing these battle
look
drills
like
down
military.
low, and I'm passing it to the wrong team. It was and we're just getting yelled at and whistles everywhere.
Yeah, you've got
second
double vision
pucks.
from
Yeah,
fatigue, and
yeah.
you can't tell what's
Already
black or green.
Yeah.
So you're 15 in to the season. As a defenseman, I'm just curious, league-wise, who's just a handful to go against? Like you're sitting on the bench going,
Braden Point.
really? You're like,
Yeah.
this guy's a problem.
He is so fast and he's so quick and he's so strong. He's like the best player in the middle of the ice. Like those slip passes he can get in a bumper situation. He's someone I really don't enjoy playing against.
They just took it to Winnipeg, I think.
How was that Celebrini? Anything
Good.
stand out to you? He looked good to me. He won a couple battles. Like, he wanted the puck. We talked about this with Marcus,
That
too.
second goal was nice, where he cut to the middle and over the shoulder.
Yeah.
That was nice. I think he carries the puck really well through the neutral zone, like his stride, and it's kind of like a Jack Eichel, that long toe flick kind of thing. Yeah, it was a quick game. We played really well that game too, so we didn't give him too much. But, yeah, I think he's going to be a great player.
I think that in a lot of people's eyes, the Wild are, a cute, good story, but I don't know that everybody's bought in. If you were to say why the start is for real, what would you say about that?
Why is it for real? Because I don't know. I think we were undersold from the start. I had a lady, I don't remember her name, but I'm going to quote her. She said, expectations are low for you guys. How do you feel about that? This was in training camp. And I said, I don't agree with you. Our expectations are high, as they always are. Last year, I'd like to think was one. Back-to-back years at 100 points, you don't just fall off a cliff. That doesn't happen. We had it in here. We had some adversity that we didn't handle properly last year. It's still the same group of guys, so our expectations are high. That's why I would say it's not a cute little story. It's the Wild.
Yeah, and the bet was on a bounce back, and there's certainly been a bounce back. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, it is early, and stuff's going to happen throughout the year, ebbs and flows like there always is, but the foundation is there, and the players on the team are there. We know what to do. We know how to go about business, and that's why I'd say I disagree with the naysayers.
And
That's a very Minnesota fan thing, too,
Yeah.
like kind of.
they almost bake in
Yeah,
the low expectation for their own buy-in. So they're like, oh, I can listen from arm's distance. I can watch from a ways away and not get too hurt. They don't want to get invested.
And it's funny because we felt the same thing because we're around the team enough. I felt exactly the same way. Last year was like the perfect storm. All those injuries. It's not like all of a sudden this isn't a good hockey team. And so to see it come out this way has been
We
great.
said that. I'll be honest. I thought the club would be somewhere around 7, 8, 9, 10 in the West, and that they'd be a bubble playoff team. But then training camp, we watched training camp, we felt it, and then it was like, boom, I've got them top 3 in the Central all of a sudden.
Yep.
You could just see that it was different than last year in a certain way, but just that they're for real.
Have you gotten the hard trophy yet?
No.
Do you think shaving the mustache set you back there? Like they were like you looked less hard?
Maybe.
But that's by the way, Hartman making that in his garage is maybe one of the happiest. Like just reading that article, I was just dying. Like just asking him, you need a chain. Like what do you make of that? It seems like a pretty cool idea. Choose your hard. Winning's hard, losing's hard.
Yeah, that was just a mantra. And Hartsy's the kind of guy, Tim the Toolman Taylor-esque, he'll go and do it.
He's a dad now, too. He can
He's
just
a
fix
dad.
stuff.
That's right, yeah.
Mr. Fix It.
I haven't tried fixing anything yet. That's when my father-in-law was in town. He was fixing a bunch of stuff at the house. But, Hartsy, the choose your hard was been our mantra since the start of training camp, and the chain is very fitting.
No, I love it. So this Dallas game, this will come out after the Dallas game, but I want you to know as a Minnesota fan, so there's a lot of deep emotions with Dallas. So they took our hockey team away, and now you're
Norm Green.
Yep, Norm Green. Norm Green sucks is actually his official name. I think his middle name's Green. But when we're wearing the retros against Dallas on Saturday. So this is a true divorce game. This is like we go back to our maiden name if you get them. It's gonna be buzzing on Saturday night. I'm gonna pre and post Herbie's. I'll be in man of the people. So if you could
This one, what was he doing in Florida?
overtime guy. But if you could take care of Dallas, I think because it's the classic Minnesota fans. They're watching that game, kind of going, okay, some big boys are coming to town, and so do you circle games on the calendar or not? Is it kind of like just do your business?
Personally, I try to go about business as usual. Extremely routine oriented, so I just like to do the same thing day in and day out. You obviously know who you're playing that day, and there's going to be some certain animosity towards different teams, but I wouldn't say I personally circle it on the calendar, but it's one you want to win for sure.
We kind of need that one if you could. As far as a regular season game goes, I think that'll be, from a fan perspective, I think they'll kind of make note of that, like, interesting.
Is this
kind of like beating Florida?
Is this the first year of your new deal?
No, I'm on the last year of my
Oh, so the new one kicks
current
in.
deal.
Okay.
New one kicks in next year.
The reason I ask is there's a lot of new things going on. It seems like in your life, you've got Stevie and different things, but you say you're routine oriented. Has it changed at all? Has the routine changed with Stevie and some of this new stuff?
Not so much. It's only been 2 weeks, and we've been gone for a week of it. So not too much has changed at the moment, but I'm sure things will arise that will affect my routine a little bit, but it's for the best.
You have a spare bedroom and earplugs and all that.
Yeah, we got it all. We got it all.
I was going to ask you, they changed this rule where Canadian junior players can play in NCAA. Canadian guy, what do you think? Do you think Canadian kids are going to start playing American hockey, NCAA, or what do you make of that rule change? I'm just from your perspective. I'm just curious. Would you have looked at that if it was an option?
Well, I would have looked at it as like I didn't think I was going to end up playing pro hockey, and then I made the San Jose Barracuda my overage year of the CHL. So my original plan was to go back for my overage year, my 20-year-old year, and then go to Canadian college because
It's paid for.
Now, from my understanding, like if I went back and I played that 21 year, does that mean I could have went to Arizona State University when I was the next following year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
as long as you don't sign, I think the difference is
if you don't have an NHL contract.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you don't sign a contract,
I didn't have one.
then you could.
So I think it'll affect
Just the overagers and maybe some of the younger guys.
It'll affect Canadian college, like the CIS.
Yeah.
Like the Canadian University League.
Yeah.
I think it'll affect that one more because if you can, when did you go to school? 18 or were you?
I went to junior, but 19.
19.
20. So I started my 20-year-old year.
Yeah, so you played junior till you were 20 and
Yeah.
then went to school.
Yes.
So that's what guys will do now, but they just play it in Tier 2 junior,
Yeah.
right, in Canada. And now if you can play in the CHL for 4 years and then go to college like you would have if you were playing for the BCHL or something,
Yeah.
right?
So I just have one question on that to help me understand. Do you get 1 year of school paid for every year you played junior, or I played one season of junior in Canada and I can go to the college for 4 years for free?
I believe it's like years of service, like 4 years.
It's 4 years
So
of school.
I was a first-round pick, so I believe once I signed my deal, I got 4 years. Like that was like your first round package. If you were a first rounder, you
Sure.
got 4 years of school paid for. But I think it's generally you get 1 year for every year you play in the OHL.
So
or
I think
CHL.
that could change it too. So let's say there was a guy that wanted to go play major, junior, or something, give it a try. 19 years old, they could get 1 year of service there, but then they could still get a 4-year college.
But are they? Yeah. Are you still not going to get a scholarship? Like you could still, the school can still give you a scholarship, right?
I don't know about the Canadian schools if they do that, but the U.S. school will give
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
The U.S. school
That's
can
what I
then be
mean.
like, they can be like, we'll give you
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
All
where
right.
You've got 2 years of eligibility from the CHL. We'll give you 4. I think it's going to affect the 20-year-old, the overagers, those guys that wanted to chase a potential pro career in Canada, but now they can play longer in a game that I think pulls more professional players out of. So U.S. college hockey, more players come from that than they do Canadian college hockey.
For pro.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll see guys in the American League who come from college, U.S. college. You do not see many coming from Canadian college.
So I think that will change too, because some of the guys that are up playing CHL will be like, I could go to Canadian college, or I might have another kick at the can if I go to U.S. college, because there are scouts and there are people that will sign a 22, 23-year-old guy out of U.S. college to play pro hockey. It happens all the time, every year. So I think that might change it a little bit, but it's older guys. I think on the other side of this is just me going on a rant, it'll be good for college hockey and parity in the game. Because right now with the portal and all the transfer stuff that is possible, there's big schools that are getting a lot of the solid players, and they can just transfer in there. Now you'll have some of these smaller schools be able to target some of these CHL guys and be able to have more competitive, stronger teams.
Well, do you think you're going to see, like a kid who is an 18-year-old freshman, do you think you'll now see him go to the OHL for 2
Yes.
years and then go to school?
I think that's going
right?
to happen now too,
Yeah.
because the CHL is going to be better than the American option.
Right.
Because the USHL is good. I still think that there are parts of the CHL that might be better. And each league in the CHL, for the American fans that don't understand, have different things that are strong and good about them. Like if you go to the QHL, the
QMJ.
yeah,
Yeah.
that might be like a more offensive league, so to speak, right? Is that accurate?
Yeah, maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Was back in the day.
OHL is probably the best one in my opinion.
And then the
but
WHL might have been more meat and potatoes
Yeah.
or different things.
yeah.
USHL's nasty too. I mean,
It's good.
Celebrini, Fantilli, all these guys. I love that you said Arizona State as your
Well, I only
just
said
a quick reference, because
didn't,
I was just picturing you would have loved college hockey. I mean, you would have just been in heaven. Big man on campus, a couple games a week,
I wasn't much of a
living the life.
student, though. I don't know how.
I don't know that most of them are.
No?
Some, I'm sure, but I was just curious if that would have been intriguing to you as a Canadian guy.
Probably
Have you been to Billy Sushi recently?
not recently. No.
I need an order update. Have you had it? Last time we spoke, it was like the 214 roll.
Yeah.
We're almost back
George
to Valentine's
Clooney.
Day. Clooney hit it. You got anything? Have you had anything
Did
new
do
that
the
you like?
hand roll?
Hand roll, got it.
Udon noodles. Did you have those?
I did not have udon noodles.
Yeah, those are good.
Got another roll for me?
Another roll. Well, did you do the bluefin tuna platter?
Yeah, he gave us one of those
Yeah.
bonus, and then the next thing I know, I was at home. I got
Were you
Billy.
at home or were you in the basement? Did
I
you go
went to the
basement
upstairs
first?
and the
Upstairs?
basement, and I don't even know. But well, I hope I might just stick with the Clooney and the 214. We're almost back
Did
into
you have
season.
the Screamin' O?
No, Screamin' O, is that a roll?
Yeah, Screamin' O. It's like baked. They got it in the tinfoil. Really nice.
Yes. See, this is. I got to get some.
How come you haven't gone in a while? Is this a pregnant? Is this a
We've been
Stevie thing?
gone for.
Yeah, might be a
long
Stevie thing
time.
too, because I think pregnancy you're not supposed to eat sushi.
My wife is not a huge sushi eater to begin with, but she'll come and have the Wagyu hand rolls and the chicken teriyaki and that kind of thing. Couldn't drink cocktails while you're pregnant either, and Billy's known for that also.
Yeah, you might want to stay away. Might want to stay away from Billy's when you're
Wasaki.
pregnant.
Yeah. So let's talk about the style game. I've noticed. I don't know. You've got some new kicks on today.
At Warrior, New
Nice.
Balance hooked me up.
New shoes, new pants. How about the Carhartt hoodie? I like that because
Crew neck.
today am working on my
I saw
man card a
that,
little
yeah.
bit. I don't have Carhartt on, but I do have a hole in my pants here, so
There
I
you
feel.
go.
Yeah, I feel.
You got dirt
What are
on
you
your
doing
leg.
again?
I got dirt on my leg.
Yeah.
Yes, you see that?
The listeners didn't
There's
get
a
to
chance
hear.
that's dog poop, but we don't want to talk about
What
that.
have you done today? Because we talked about this before we went on air. What was the man stuff you did today?
Well, I got the tractor out of the garage and I
John Deere?
put the bagger on it. No, it's a Toro.
Yeah.
Put the bagger on it, bagged the leaves, got the trailer. I just have to drop them off at the compost site. But yeah,
Was the weather nice?
I had to
this
get
morning?
I had to get a couple of wrenches out to fix some things.
It is sunny
Cool.
today.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It is really nice. It's good day to be outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like the crew necks though?
Yeah.
More than a hoodie?
Yeah. I don't know. I got hoodies too. I feel more like put together in a crew neck. You know, hoodies seem a little like chillin', lounging, kinda, and crew neck just feels like ready to take on the day.
Yeah, you're more active in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Grocery shop or something.
I like that. It's hard to find a good crew neck though.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
I saw Spurgeon.
Bunnies.
I saw Spurgeon a couple,
Bunnies?
and I had to
You gotta
say,
get the bunnies crew neck. They're unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah. They're right up there with Lululemon. I think they're head and neck with Viore.
what's on the front? A pull tab?
I don't know what's on the logo.
There's a one with a little circle bunny, and then a big bunnies across the chest too.
I was going to ask you about Boldy. You know, Guerin at the start of the year was like, this guy could be a 50-50 guy. And he just is. He came out of the chutes hot. What are you noticing? Did you notice anything different in camp, or is this just a natural progression for a very good player?
I'd say natural progression. He's a gamer. He wants the puck on his stick. I call him 7-Eleven. He's always open. He always wants it.
Is that a self-proclaimed always open? Or?
Yeah, you can probably
Hey, did
hear
you
him
see
from the
me?
press box. He's got his stick up in the air. He's ready for it. But no, he's a gamer. Like, he wants the puck on his stick and he wants to generate offense and makes things happen. And yeah, he's a special player. And 50-50, 40-40, whatever it was, sky's the limit for him.
Does he have the best hands on the team?
Yeah.
Like Kirill's got really good hands, but he does it different than Boldy does. Like I think
Yeah.
from time to time, Boldy, like his hands like grab your attention.
that
Like,
little-
wow, that was slick. How
Yeah.
did he do that?
Yeah, like he split the D again last night, right? He had
Yeah.
that one on the
Little flip.
Yeah, flip
Where-
it through.
Where Kirill makes like subtle plays that don't catch your eye, like picking up a 70-mile-an-hour pass on your backhand and transitioning it to his forehand and making a pass all in one fluid movement.
Yeah.
Still great hands, but like different than Boldy, who's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Kirill does a lot with his hips.
Yeah.
He's a pivot guy, right? It's like because he can do that GI Joe kung fu grip or so. He's got a whole different range because of how he can move on his
Walz
skates.
is like that too, though. You know,
Yeah, he does
throws
skate
throws
similar.
his
That's new
ass
this
into
year, I think,
guys
though.
and use his big body to protect the puck. But yeah, he can stick handle in a phone booth. Same with Freddie. Freddie's also got
Dirty
really
hands.
nice hands. Yeah, in tight.
You were gonna
Freddie
say
can shoot from anywhere too. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of amazing. He can shoot from a mile out from his body, from in his feet, from anywhere. He can
Yeah.
just shoot it.
Did you know Foligno's shooting percentage is 50%?
Really?
Yes.
It was going into yesterday's game. It was
And by the way,
Has he got 3
historically,
goals.
3 on 6
So he's
shots.
got
so he's
6
shot
shots?
6 shots, and
But
also
he's been 25% every year.
Really?
This guy's he's amazing.
so he
Doesn't
should
waste 'em.
shoot more.
Yeah, it doesn't waste him.
You were going to mention another guy when you were talking about how hard it is to go against Kirill in camp. It seemed like, was there another guy on your own team that's just like,
Eki.
okay, I figured, yeah. So he's just, you ever face wash, Eki?
Should we
want
say a
to.
prayer for his nose?
Yeah.
Poor guy's just been targeted.
I want to say he deserves it, but he's really annoying to go against too. He's just a machine.
Will he
Yeah,
ever fight?
We got to figure this out.
Because we've wondered this.
I've
Like,
told
is
him,
it
I think
possible
he
for his
should.
wires to touch? That's what I've said.
I
He
think
should take a
He's
suspension.
so strong. Like, I think it'd be like that Crosby-esque thing, you know, where you just get a double grab and start ragdolling him. I think that could be Eki, but
well,
There
if
were-
he hasn't
I
been
had-
set off yet, I don't know if
that's
he
what
ever
I mean.
will be. I
If
mean,
he takes so much that if he hasn't done it yet, I don't know if he will. But
Yeah. Last game would have been a perfect one. Just hear me out. This is terrible, but it actually works. When I played here, there were guys that would get run. You know, and it's like at some point you gotta get a little dirty, or it's gonna keep happening. So one time when you need a day or two off, just let somebody absolutely have it. And you'll get fined or you'll get
Yeah.
suspended, but it will be on NHL Network, and then it will be talked about for a week or two,
Yeah.
and then that stuff will stop. Because once people realize, like if he deleted somebody, he wouldn't get face washed anymore.
Yeah.
It's
You
like
could say
getting.
face
It's like
wash.
having nuclear arms.
Yes.
Like once they know you have the nuclear option, they don't want to.
They don't test you.
No, they're
Right.
like, well, but also.
Yeah, like Eki, like he owns the nukes. He is nuclear. Like
Well, it's like when
hit the
remember
red
when
button once in a while.
remember when Hartman did the cross check to the kid's
For
face
Fetty.
in the face-off circle. When you do stuff like that, I
Did
think
you see Hartsey last night at the end of the game when he got
was- he
Hudson
was-
to-
Lane Hudson.
he got him to take a penalty on him, and
then he said something on the way.
He
to
went by the bench,
went
but we
by the
didn't see.
bench and said something, and then Anderson came and pushed him, and he did the fake cross check and made Anderson flinch. It was so Hartsey, it was perfect.
Yeah, he's somebody got traded here, and we asked them about playing against the Wild, and they were like, "Yeah, Ryan Hartman was a special breed to play against."
I think him and Bogo have fought 3 times or 2
Yeah,
times. Or
they said
Oh, each other.
yeah.
they said he's good for the spear. Was what they said. This is a guy that'll
Yeah.
get you.
He'll sharpen the tip
Sneaky.
of his skate
Or
or
he
the tip
just
of his stick.
Kick the back of your feet a little bit.
Oopsie.
Not a slew foot, but just like
Let
if
you
you're
know.
in front of the net. He's gonna do something. He's got all these sneaky tactics.
So do we think Ecker will ever fight? You think it's possible or no?
I take the under.
I don't think so. Yeah, I'd take the under too. Like he said, if
He's eaten so much shit already.
yeah, if he hasn't done it now, like if no one's got under his skin enough to this point,
I kind of feel like his blood is starting to
know what,
boil.
he could
It's just
be
not
that, like-
rolling yet.
he could be like that guy, 32. He'll be 10-year vet in the league, like a couple more years, 10-year vet in the league, and then some kid, fresh into the league, does something to him. Then maybe he could take liberties on a guy. But I think it's a slow burn for him, and it'll take a while.
I just feel like he's getting tired of these face washes all the time now. Like the broken nose might be the straw that broke the camel's back, where he's
Yeah.
like, I'm tired of this now.
Yeah.
Like, let it be. But we'll see. Does he get after the refs?
Yeah. Yeah, he does. Yeah, Marco too. Marco, I think
Really?
it's,
The
well,
quiet guy?
not so much the refs.
No
but the
way.
Lines. Well, they're centermen, right?
Oh, the linesmen.
The linesmen, they're always.
Oh, that's why we're under 50% in the dot all the time.
Yep.
The one thing you
Well, it's
can't
because
do.
our centers always get kicked out. That's why we're under, because it's always our wingers taking the draw. Centers are always getting kicked out.
But you can, as a centerman, you almost just have to deliver bottles of wine to the referee room. Like you can't give.
That's how you get kicked out of the face-off circle. Be a prick, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Unless,
Mikko
unless
was
you're
like
so
that,
good.
too.
Unless you're so good, where they just like Sidney Crosby or Mikko is this way. You could cheat your butt off, and the linesmen aren't kicking you out. They're not kicking you out.
Miko was always bitching at the refs, though, and I think they did him
The
dirty.
refs are different than the linesmen, though.
Yeah.
Like you can go at the refs, but as a centerman, you just got to leave the linesman alone.
Yeah, a little bottle of Cabernet.
But now I know why the face-off percentage has been under 50. I think I had that in one of my bold predictions. We might be over 50 for the year.
Yeah, we have to
at?
do bold predictions.
What are we at?
We
Just
started off hot. Now I think we're down 49. I'll look right now.
But not like crazy under 50%. Like
no,
you
it's
said.
always
Yeah,
close, but
yeah,
it's amazing the difference between 47 and 53.
Right,
Like
right.
what it feels like.
Did you like being on the road a lot at the start of the year? Did that bring the team together, or it doesn't really matter?
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. Not even fun. It was just, I said it before, like you don't have much responsibility other than your work when you're on the road.
Yep.
So it's kind of carefree and you're there strictly for work. There's a little fun involved, obviously, at the start of the year. But, yeah, no, we had a blast. The only time was Pittsburgh, the end of it. We were there for 3 days or whatever, and we had a day off and then a practice day and then a game. And on that practice day, I woke up and a lot of guys woke up, and we were in, our 4th or 5th hotel, and it was just like, holy shit, we got another day of this still. So that was like, by the end of it, it got a little tiring, but all in all, it was
Did you feel that the Chicago game too? So you guys had the back-to-back. So you have the long trip, then you go to
That was
San Jose,
wild.
Anaheim,
Yeah.
fly the next day, and it's like nice morning. You get to Chicago, it's dark and rainy.
Pitch black and raining.
You go to
yeah.
dinner, you go to bed. You're like, I didn't even live today. I didn't do
Yeah,
anything.
it was weird, and like I woke up in the morning feeling good and everything, like just another business as usual day, and then got back, ate, and had a nap, and I woke up and I was like, oh, something's off, like you just didn't feel like you had anything, and I think you saw that in the Chicago game. We were all very flat, but that was probably the craziest travel I've been a part of.
And that's why I said that And Hines, I think, handled that really well too. He's got a great feel. He was proud of the group, despite the fact that you guys didn't have it. The group was flat, but that was a schedule flatness. There's nothing you could do about that.
Yeah, it was
Everybody
tough.
prepared to the best of their abilities.
Yeah.
It's not like there's any reason
Yeah.
that anybody was flat, other than the schedule was just in
And
such a way.
stole a point.
Yes.
I mean, I
Were you
felt
with
the
us? Were
same
you
way.
on that trip? Yeah, that was. Did you feel it?
Oh, when I woke up the morning of the Chicago game, I couldn't.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe how tired I am.
Yeah.
I can't. There's no reason.
Yeah,
for me
mine
to
was
just
weird.
not
It was
even
like
play.
my body clock was all messed up, and
It was
yeah,
like daylight savings, moving out
Yeah,
west,
yeah.
everything all in one.
Yeah, it was weird.
So faceoffs 48.5% on the year.
Okay.
So, but if you like get up to 53%, you'd be
I'm 1,000% in my face-off.
telling me about
Yeah,
it.
5-on-3, kicked a forward out on the PK. We were down man 5-on-3 in the American League. I snapped it back. Yeah,
With the big old
yeah,
with the boat paddle.
Yeah.
That's good. Hey, can you talk about the new guys a little bit? I'd like to hear. Lauko seems like a party on wheels. This Marat's playing really well. He's been fun to watch. Trenyan, finding his spot as well. What have those guys brought to the team, both personality and on the ice?
Yeah, that whole fourth line, especially the past 5-6 games, unbelievable. Like the way they're generating offense and then short-changing teams. They'll go into the offensive zone, cycle the puck for 45 seconds, get a team on their heels, make a smart change. Kirill, Zuki, Bolds, whoever hops over the boards against tired guys, make a play, score. So just the way they're coming together as a line has been unbelievable. Trenny, I'm really getting to enjoy him. He took a while to open up. He was a pretty quiet guy. He's funny. I'm really enjoying him. Laux is like I've never met anyone like him. He watches not cartoons, but like anime. He loves anime and video games and that kind of thing. So he's doing that on the plane. Loves Czech Pilsner. Like he wouldn't drink the beer on the plane. He went and bought like a certain Czech Pilsner brand to put on ice on the plane.
He buys his own grapes.
And you never see him before a game. Like I don't know where he is or what he's doing. You don't see him until like the PK meeting. He's not like in the locker room area. I don't know if he's like sitting in a room or in the training room or whatever, but you don't see him in like the locker room until the PK meeting starts, and then he's in the PK meeting, and then he's gone again, and he gets dressed with like, I don't know, 6-7 minutes left until warm-ups, and then he starts getting dressed. He's a funny guy. And Kuzi, he's like a little fireball out there. He's so fast and quick and shifty.
He can
Funny
walk
guy,
right
too.
to the net too.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen him from the dot cut and go right to. I mean, if he starts finishing on some of that stuff, I mean, could be really interesting because he can walk right there. It's like Fabe can kind of do that too, where you just cut in and you got to look.
So I noticed this from Lauko. You usually have like your luggage bag.
Yeah.
Then he's got another one with him that's like a hard case. That's
got to be a console, right?
Pelican. Yeah, it's video games.
For
so
sure.
he brings the video games with him in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He for sure.
That's kind of a pro move, though.
Skittles
If you're
and
going to bring the video games on the road, do it in
if you're gonna
style,
do it,
in
do
your
it
own
right,
in your own
yeah.
trunk like that. That dude's nickname should be something like Hot Rod or something like that. Because when I watch Lauko, that dude it's only like the light goes from red to green and it's full throttle.
So fast.
He's only got one speed.
Yeah.
It's sixth gear. It's the
Yeah.
final gear. There's like no ramp up to it. It's
Yeah,
like
no,
the
he's,
tires spinning. He's just
He's
gone.
like Grand Theft Auto, maybe. He had the cool picture of him putting his skates on the other day on the Instagram with the sleeves and
cool
everything.
tattoo, Game of Thrones. and
Yeah, I was
stuff,
like,
yeah.
jeez.
Yeah.
Thank you, Social Department of the Wild. He doesn't hate that, I guarantee. Pretty cool. I know we're a little out of season, but did you do anything fun this summer? Did you take a bike trip with your pops, or like what were some of the
That a
milestones?
loaded question.
Well, I knew you did, but I'm kind of that's what we
That's
call
a leading
That's
question.
what we call a softball in the industry.
Yeah, my dad and I, we rode out to British Columbia.
Oh, what a guess.
He picked me up here in Minneapolis, and we rode to Salmon Arm, British Columbia, to visit my sister. We were there for 10 days, 2 weeks, kind of thing.
How long does it take to drive there?
I don't know, 35 hours or something. It was like 3 days worth of driving.
What do you do? So when I used to do road trips with my family, the most I could drive in a day was about 11 hours, and it started to be like way too much. On a bike, what can you do?
Yeah, About
You can drive like
going,
10 hours,
If you're going west, you can do like 12, 14.
and you feel like good, and you're with it.
You hit
Because you're
waves
chasing
on-
daylight, you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. If you're going west, you get more hours because the sun's following you. But going east is a little tough. But yeah, no, it's you hit waves. It's like any road trip. You get a little lull after lunch. You're like, holy smokes, do we got to keep going here?
Do you listen to tunes on a bike?
I got nothing.
Okay, so you're just hearing the wind, and
yeah,
that's cool.
Just
my
with your thoughts.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
thoughts?
Sometimes.
I would think
You
so.
ever like get distracted? You're like, wow, look at all that. Like I went through South Dakota. You go through South Dakota?
Mm-hmm.
I went through there this summer, and I got caught going 85 down the highway. Just like, oh, look at all those cattle over there.
With all the fire trucks along, all the way to Waldrug or whatever
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
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 Turning off the radio and driving into work is awesome. Like you just kind of, just the quiet is nice.
There's a word for that, isn't there? Where you just kind of forget you're driving and you do it all subconsciously or whatever, and you're just all of a sudden at your destination and you forgot how you got there.
Or you're like me and you're on 694 and you miss 36 by 10 miles and you got to turn around and come back.
But then
But I know the feeling.
But then aren't you like, man, am I losing it? Don't you question yourself then? Like, what am I doing?
That does freak me out. When I had a thing the other day, I parked my car, but I was on the hands-free, switched it to my phone, and I was walking into my office and I was trying to lock my car because the lights were on, and it wouldn't lock. And I'm like, what the heck? I realized it was just running. I would have just left my car running there the entire work day. I mean, that's the stuff. If you ever left the faucet running, you'll do this now that you have a kid. Like, that's not a good feeling either. That doesn't make you feel good when you come back into a room and you just left the faucet running.
No.
Yeah, I guess I'm alone on that one.
I never, yeah.
Stay locked. You ever thought about this, though? Why do noses run and feet smell? These are things that you need to learn now as a
Yeah.
dad.
That's a dad joke.
Why do you park on a driveway and drive on a parkway?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't really
Something
know.
to think about. for
Something to
sure.
think about, yeah. So next road trip.
I was going to ask you, Zuki got hurt. We won't get into what happened to him because it's still being sorted out. But you have had no injuries all year. How do you come? How do you push through that as you start working through that? Especially kind of a ESP brother to Kirill. What do you think? Just next man up?
Yeah, I touched on it earlier, plug guys in wherever. The foundation and the system is there for a reason, and you just try to find chemistry with who you're out there with. You know where you're supposed to be, so it's one of those things where next man up, like you said.
Cool, man. Well, I got it. You want to ask us a question?
Yeah, what do you got for us? What do you want? What do you want?
One question each.
Oh, man, I'm running off like 4 hours of sleep, but I can try and think of something. What's your hair, like what do you got going on?
So
Shampoo,
I just quit conditioner.
okay.
I do not use
It's a
any
vice.
hair product in my hair, and I do believe that you do reach a point where you get to transcendence. There's no product.
Yeah. Or you think you're going to get there at some point?
I don't use any product. I do use
shampoo,
I use
or you-
shampoo, but I might stop doing that just because of what you said. But
3 weeks. You'll fact check me again, but I think it was something like 3 weeks. Your natural oils like disperse out of there, and it just
push through.
doesn't look greasy. Yeah.
No, I think that's cool. I like that. That feels very like I don't know, like when Casey on Yellowstone's out in his teepee and sees the wolf in the distance. I think that feels natural.
Yeah.
I might try that.
Is there a new season out of that?
Yeah,
It's
they've
out
one
now, right?
episode. The
you
old
watch it?
man, no Costner, but I still like it.
Is it all right? I had to throw in
No
the towel.
Costner in the last season?
No, because he got in a little battle with Taylor Sheridan, the guy who puts the show together.
I didn't realize he owns all those. He owns that four
the four
sixes ranch
sixes
or
and,
whatever. He owns all that, and he makes money off filming at his places and stuff.
and he basically owns Paramount Plus. I mean,
Really?
half the shows on there are his.
Good for him.
But no, so the reason I like Yellowstone still, I know you're right. A lot of people are not feeling it, but the Taylor Sheridan's an amazing writer. He did like Wind River, Mayor of Easttown. He did Sicario. He did Hell or High Water. He's like a genius. But his whole thing is like saving the American West.
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys. So even when you watch Yellowstone, all the ads are for like feed companies, horses, Boot Barn, and so they're very. The first episode was kind of slow and lot of country music and horses, and he'll do 5 minutes on a guy who still makes spurs out of one piece of steel.
Right.
And it's for sure the real guy, and he's giving him his flowers. But I don't know, man. I'll watch a Western every Sunday night for an hour. There's worse things to do. It's like riding a motorcycle with no headphones. I mean, I'm a fan. I'll stick it out. What do you got for Carter?
Girl dad, I need some advice. What do you got for me? What can I expect? What might not I be expecting that's going to happen?
You'd think I would know. I really
Still no idea?
I don't have any advice
All right.
for you. No, but being a girl dad is a privilege. It's fun. There's something about it. I'm sure you've heard this before, but it's dads and daughters, moms and sons.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling, Stevie, you and Stevie are going to be fast friends. And I don't think you need any advice. I think you're gonna figure it out and you're gonna love it. And it's gonna be one of the greatest things that's ever happened. So
Yeah, I kind of got that feeling. I never had it feel that way before. And then when we were in the delivery room, it did something. You know, I'm sure you know the.
Well, there's like a
feeling, both of
natural-
you, but
there's
it
like
was
a-
like a whoa.
there's like a thing with dads and daughters where it's like, all right, it's my job to take care of her. Just like that first drive out, you're like, you're driving safe for the first time.
Yeah.
Like it changes you forever that day. Whereas I feel like I don't have a son, so I don't know, but I feel like even with my boy, the male dog versus the female dog or something, it's like you can let the male dog make his couple mistakes, and you're just gonna be like, this is it's the way it is. But
I had already had a thought. I have an older truck. It's just a 2016, but it runs great and it's fine. And I'm not like a car fanatic guy, so it gets me where I need to go. And I was thinking, I was like, okay, if I have a son, I'm going to keep this truck till he's 16 and he can have it. Then I had a daughter, and I was like, no, I'm going to buy her whatever she wants.
Although
she's gonna get a
she's
Bronco.
named Stevie, so she's so cool. You might give your daughter the truck.
Maybe.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe.
That was like one of the sweetest things that's ever happened on the podcast. That little story about your heart growing like the Grinch. I don't even think we should
The
end on
Grinch,
that.
that's a good way
Yeah,
to put it.
three
yeah.
sizes that day.
Yeah.
3 sizes. I mean, that's got to be the end, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you so much for being here, Jake. We're so happy you're off to a great season. You're a great dude, and Minnesota loves you. The state of hockey loves you. We're here.
So let's hear.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Great dudes also.
Good work.